The Liberals have been known forever as the natural governing party, and for good reason. For if there should ever come that dismal time when Canadians fall short in their admiration and love of being governed by the Liberal Party, why then we may count on the Liberals themselves taking up the slack, and then some. For inconceivable as this may sound, Liberals admire Liberal governments, even more than all right-thinking Canadians do. In one of the finest comedy routines since the great John Crosby abandoned politics, Justin Trudeau yesterday gave his reasons, you cannot know how loosely I'm using the term, for giving up on his resolute pledge for once and for all do away with first past the post. That's the degraded system that gave us, for example, Prime Ministers Pierre Trudeau, Lester Pearson, Jean Chrétien. And that was the period, you understand, when first past the post was the very best thing since sunshine, lollipops, and sliced bread. It also gave us, of course, Stephen Harper, which, according to the Justin view of things, nullified the wisdom of every other previous choice, and if he were to follow his own logic, even the present one of himself. It's a little appreciated fact, Tom Mulcair pointed it out just yesterday, that under the vile FPTP, Mr. Trudeau, in 2015, earned his great majority with a nearly perfect match of Harper's vote percentage 4 years earlier. Now, however, after a year of full steam ahead on the pledge to change, the hearings, no possibility of a referendum, Mr. Trudeau has flung his adamantine pledge to kill FTPT to the four high winds. His argument, and you cannot imagine how loosely I'm using that term, is that Canadians were unhappy with Harper with roughly 39% under FPTP, but are very happy with him as Prime Minister with more or less the identical result. For all of us who are having been a long time waiting for the intellectual equivalent of a selfie, we now have it. They like me, so FPTP is fine again. I look forward to the next seminar on electoral reform, the happy with me quotient, and the Canadian voting system. To be really clear, let me state the essence of this position. First past the post is poison when it elects Conservatives, and it is a honey donut when it elects Liberals. It is a wound in the Charter of Rights and Freedoms that these understandings are not explicitly stated therein. Now, the real reasons he gave up on it: one, no government has the right to say how citizens vote. It's our right, not theirs. Two, a change by fiat would backfire massively on Mr. Trudeau's popularity, both of which called up the great Liberal instinct for political self-preservation. They're not the natural governing party for nothing. Sunny ways, and you can't imagine how loosely I'm using that term. For The National, I'm Rex Murphy.